The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Hello. Being one-handed sucks. Yeah. Because I keep forgetting too. It's like if I don't have this on, my right hand's just like, I'm going to go do whatever it is I want to do. Yesterday I tried packing some cigarettes. I did the first time I hit, my hand was like, no. So what's the answer? The answer is slow down. Well, look, we got a little cute kitty face popping in there. How did that open? Do I have a cat inside my cabinets? I think I do. Are all of you in here? They all want stuff, but I can't do it. I can't pet them or nothing. What are you doing, dude? What's going on here? Okay, I have a cat in a drawer. How'd you get in there, dude? Okay. Okay. Should have let you see it on the camera. Here, I'll show it to you. It's gonna look a little weird because I only have one hand. It was in that drawer right there. Hey, how the fuck did he get in there? Who knows? Who knows? All right, I'm gonna need both hands for a second. There we go. Okay. Hopefully I'll do okay because I'm not quite with it. Hey, you guys, would you stop it? None of you are getting pet. Okay? I'm inconvenienced. You're inconvenienced. It's life. Hi, Amber. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you both. I'm just dealing with key cats. All right. Today we're talking about when the eyes start to shine. I believe that the eyes are the gateway to the soul. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Yeah, it's my name. You ain't even forget it. It's hard to forget me. I make sure of that. Either I'm going to entertain you or irritate the fuck out of you, but either way, you're going to remember my name. If you're here, please say hello. Please say hello. Oh my gosh. All right, so what are we talking about here today? Well, as soon as I get the right thing pulled up, I will tell you. All right. Because, and this actually was from, I was meeting with a friend earlier, we're going through the big book. Michelle and I are going through the big book together. And we're getting to the part where Ebby shows up at Bill's house. And he's talking about how his eyes were shining, and this is kind of where that came from. And so we talked about that for a little bit, and I thought it was a good place. One of the things that I was kind of telling her, because you see a lot of things, a lot of people making videos, things like that. The first place you need to look is the eyeballs. Are they shining? Take a look. Take a look at those eyes. What's going on with them? Are they dulled out? Are they, you can tell a lot just by looking somebody in the eye. You guys need to stop it. I don't know what you think you cats are up to, but it fucking ends now. You're all acting like children. All right. And they do it again. Hold on a second. I gotta yell. Stop it! Now there are no more kitties in my room. Okay. I'll just go down the hall and do it there. That's fine. Let them. Right? So have you ever seen somebody in early recovery and then you see them months later, or maybe you saw somebody that came in a program, and after a little while, you started to see that things started to clear up for them. They, maybe they lose a little bit of weight, the bags under your eyes go away, things like that. But there's nothing better than watching the lights come on with somebody you've been working with. This is Denise from church. I have a question. I have a patient from PSL. Dave, he may give you a call tomorrow. Oh, okay. Presbyterian St. Luke's. So this is the charge nurse at Presbyterian St. Luke's. Because I do sound at the church. That's why this happened. So I might be getting a call from a Dave tomorrow. But see, it'll be tomorrow. And we know what happens with alcoholics that put things off till tomorrow, don't we? So hopefully Dave gives me a call. All right, let's pray that Dave gives me a call that we're able to help him out. All right, but that'll be tomorrow, all right? I don't have to worry about it right now. All right, but like I was saying, there's nothing really better in this world than watching the lights come on. Now, part of the reason I'm bringing this up is, and I'll cover this part first so we can get to the fun part. Okay, when you're watching these videos and stuff, if their eyes ain't shining, they're probably full of crap. Okay. What is it? Well, you're on fire. It's spirituality. Why are their eyes shining? Because they're standing in the sunlight of the spirit. Okay. Now, the thing is I know that my eyes shine because I'm the only person I see when I talk, and I have to stare at myself a lot. And in order for me to make you think that I'm looking at you, I have to look at myself on the screen. Otherwise, you don't think I'm looking at you. It's kind of a trick that we use, right? Amber says, I texted our friend of ours from Boston a day or so ago. No reply. Probably an old number. Yeah. I hope you hear back from him. I do. I do. It was a bummer the way that he left, but things happen. And now he and another guy got into it in a meeting, and they were going at each other. So now neither one of them show up. Don't cut off your nose to spite your face, man. Don't do that. All right. So, there's a reason I don't do, most time I'm in my pajamas here. Sometimes my hair's a mess right now. I need to shave a little bit. I'm disheveled. I didn't make myself go look perfect before this. I don't use any filters, anything like that, because it's about the message, right? It's about the message. And I know one thing that highly spiritual people, their eyes shine. Something I've always noticed. People with a lot of spirituality. And you can tell who they are. They tell you, you can see. So anyway, keep an eye out for that. Now let's get to the stuff we really want to talk about, right? All right. So there comes a moment in recovery when you can literally see everything change. You remember the day you figured out that grass was green? Grass got greener, didn't it? Those colors got a little bit sharper. You're probably able to smell a little bit better. Your appetite came back. These are all things that are coming up for you, right? Now, we're usually the last people to see it in ourselves. So, of course, I'm going to be bringing up encouragement if you see somebody, But when we're in our meetings and you see somebody come in, the first day they come in, they're shaking. Life sucks. My wife's leaving me. I'm about to lose my job. I just got a DUI. And to see them 2 months later welcoming the newcomer saying, hey, I was where you were at 2 months ago. It's really cool to see. Yeah. All right. You'll be able to do things. And like today, I got a phone call from a sober living, and the person did give permission. All right. But last last November. Um, I had made a decision to go get a bag of ice, but I took my wife's car. She wasn't here. My car needed gas, but I was feeling I'm like, I'll get gas later. I took my wife's car. I went to go pick up some ice and a couple packs of cigarettes, right? And well, when I went to go get some ice, there was a young gentleman sitting there, um, and I could tell that he was in pain. And I said, all I said was, "Are you okay? Do you need somebody to talk to?" He's like, "Yeah, actually, I kind of do. My girlfriend and we aren't doing too well." Like, where's your girlfriend? And she showed up a little bit. That she was getting some water or something inside the convenience store. And we were out there chatting, and I was asking them, do you want some help? And they were saying, yes, we do. We need to get off the streets. We need better than this. And I knew what they were getting ready to do. They were getting ready to go into the plasma place. That's how I kind of knew. There's a lot of people that hang out over there. It's one of the places I'm going to be going to helping people is plasma places because we like to go give our plasma so we can get alcohol and drugs and stuff. It's one of the tricks we use, right? Got to meet them where they're at. Save consumption sites. That's where I'm going to be going to help you out. Anyway, even the manager came out. He's like, well, we can't have you guys loitering out here. And I said, I just bought a bag of ice and 4 packs of cigarettes. I'm a customer. And if you can give us 10 minutes, I'm trying to help these folks, see if we can get them somewhere, see if we can get them help. Is that okay? And he's like, oh, yeah, definitely. That's great. You go for it. So see, well, so today I get a phone call. Hey, Dion. Hey, the people that you brought in. I knew the guy wasn't going to hang out. I knew he was doing it because he loved his girlfriend, things like that. I knew it. I knew the girl was pretty serious, and she has 90 days today, and they were calling to let me know she has 90 days. She's working again. She's got her kids back. She's got a sponsor. She's doing the work. Just want to let you know these these are the gifts that we receive when we decide to do the right thing. Right. And that is one of many. Got another caller. Remember the guy that kept trying to get into treatment? Remember? 6 months to live, da da da. He's walking into treatment today. He's not in Colorado. He decided to go back to Texas. That was his choice. Okay. But he is with his father, which I feel more comfortable with than his friends in Colorado giving him a ride. And he's going to treatment. Good job, man. Did he go to the treatment I suggested? No. Did he do it the route I suggested? No, but I was there. Okay. And he actually did do the route I suggested. I said, you need to go to detox, get cleaned up, and get into treatment. And he did that. So he did do what I suggested to him. Okay. Now, hopefully, I hear back from him. And next time I see him, his eyes are going to be shining because life is better. So, when we were drinking and using, we were always avoiding eye contact. We lived in shame. We carried the guilt. We were emotionally shut down. We were surviving, not living. Right. So, and I know in my alcoholism, I spent a lot of time hiding. I'd look down, I'd look away. I was always disconnected. There's some people I didn't like to make eye contact with because there's some people in this world that can look in your eyes and know exactly what's going on. And I know because I'm one of them. I want people to know I was embarrassed. I didn't want you to know who I really was. I've heard a lot in my life, Dion, it's very hard to get to know you. I'm like, I know. I know. But once you do get to know me, it's worth it. I'm transparent here. I talk about things, but that doesn't mean you know me. Till we get on the phone, talk, because I have other things about me, but we don't talk about them here. Right? But isn't it neat to see some young man or woman reclaim their lives? Like this young lady, she has her kids back in her life. Is that fucking cool? Is that cool? I bet she got to see her kids for Christmas for the first time in years. This was her first sober Christmas, her first New Year's. And to find out she's thriving is fucking wonderful. It's wonderful. Now, am I ever going to see this person again? I don't know. Probably. I'll probably run into him again. And I'll tell them, great job. No, and they'll thank me. And I'll say, and you guys know what I'll say to that? Well, glory goes to God. Was I there? Was I available? Sure. All right. That's as far as it went. She did the work. I'm not going to take claim on that. Great fucking job. Now come join us. Now come help us. Your butt to grassroots. Help us out. Right? So why did I hide? Well, I think we all know why. Shame, secrets, fear of being judged. Probably a big one. Fear of being exposed as the fraud that I was. I was so scared to get. Yeah. That's why you see a lot of people fight out there. Well, this is this. AA's a cult. It's this, it's that. Well, clinical is this, that. Now, this is just people being fear of being exposed because they know deep inside that it's not quite the right thing. But since everybody else is doing it and they want to keep their friends, even though they're not really friends, they'll continue doing it. Okay. Peer pressure doesn't go away with age. It doesn't really go away with age. Well, kind of, sometimes. So we didn't just hide our drinking, we hid ourselves. So, when does that start to change? When we can start to be honest, that's when it starts to change. All right. And then we don't feel the need to hide. That fourth and fifth step, that'll clear away a lot of it for you. That's usually when the eyes start to shine, is at the fifth step. Why? Because everything that was blocking you from the sunlight of the spirit is no longer there. So the sunlight of the spirit only has one place left to go. Out your eyeballs. Yeah. It's when we had our first meeting, when you had the first honest conversation with your sponsor, or maybe a therapist or counselor, the first honest one when you're like, yeah, I have a problem with alcohol. I have a problem with drugs. I have a problem. Put your addiction in there. And I need to do something about it. You're correct. That is the moment when your eyes will start to open. All right. Without being aware of what the problem is, there's no way that we can work on the solution. All right. The first time we asked for help. And of course, the first time we admitted the truth. And the truth is this: my name's Dion and I'm an alcoholic and my life is unmanageable. Now, my life is no longer unmanageable because I have a great manager named God. My life is not unmanageable. I am still very powerless over alcohol, though. Very much. So, honesty is the moment the lights start turning back on. No. Wait till you're working with a sponsee, do that third step, and after a little bit, they come to you. They're like, I don't know what it is. I feel great. I feel different. Everything's just different. They won't be able to describe it to you because this is not something that you can describe. In the big book, we call it indescribably wonderful because there's no other words. Okay. And what is that? Well, it's the spiritual plane, and we don't have words for it because we don't quite understand it. And that's okay. I'm not required to understand it for it to work. Okay. I don't quite know how the internet works, but I rely on I know that it works. I do know how it works, but that's okay. Not all of it. I wouldn't say from endpoint to endpoint that I knew. No, I don't. All right. So what is it that kind of where's the change happen? Well, it happens in the spiritual awakening. And how apropos, because what are you doing? Well, you're waking up. You're waking up. You're awakening. And awakening means that you've been gone for a while. You've been asleep for a while. You've been indisposed, hiding, right? And we have that spiritual awakening. Um, we start to see life for what it is, and this can be it can be a little disruptive sometimes because we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, but then we start to notice that other people are not doing it. And that, well, how come I have to do it and they don't? Yeah, that's going to come up. Every alcohol, how come we may not say it out loud, but how come they don't have to? Because they're not alcoholics. Well, but they are an alcoholic. Well, you don't get to deem that, first of all. But let's say that they are, okay. Still, it's not it. That's not me. I have to clean my side of the street, not theirs. And until they're willing to clean their side of the street, not much is going to be done, right? So what happens? Well, the psychic change. Psychic change is where this starts, right? You change your mind. Actually, the psychic change is we changed our way of thinking. That is, let's look it up. Let's go let's do a definition. What is the definition of the psychic change?
A psychic change is a deep, often lasting transformation.
Psychic change is a profound, often permanent transformation in personality, attitude, and outlook, frequently described in AA literature as the necessary spiritual awakening. Now, I want you to hear something. It said permanent, and they're not wrong. It is a permanent transformation. Let me say, well, we can revert back. Oh, no, 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 no. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you work this program and you go back out, you're going to find a new level of hell. There's nothing, I've never found anything worse than a head full of AA and a belly full of booze. These things contradict each other so much. Well, what happened? It said permanent. It ruined my drinking career. It's what we're talking about here, right? So the psychic change, I changed my mind. The personality change in the spiritual awakening. Fear decreases, hope increases, and connection returns. And then what happens? Then your purpose grows. You have more purpose in your life, more purpose. I feel like I need a nap, but I don't. So recovery changes how we feel inside and it starts to show on the outside. Right? Now, let's talk a little bit about presence versus performance. Right? Like social media recovery versus real recovery. And this is even social media, kind of social media recovery. I'm on social media, right? But I don't do a lot of things that other people do. I don't tell you, ask you to share. I don't tell you, they actually say you shouldn't do that. I like the natural. If you found me, it isn't because I put out an advertisement. It isn't because I put hashtag FYP. It isn't because I put hashtag anything. It is because God wanted you to find what I'm doing. That's why. And when it's that, it always turns out exactly the way that it needs to. These are things that I see. I run the daily trudge based on the traditions, or at least I do the best that I can. I can tell you now, I do make mistakes. I do. Right. And then I correct them. So, right. I'm not here to perform for it. Well, sometimes I perform a little bit, maybe a little singing. The cats are here. I do perform a little bit, but that's just kind of who I am. I like I like to be a little outlandish. And I appreciate the fact that I'm a little odd, so, um, helping versus looking helpful. So I'm not going to say much on that because I'm kind of at a point in my own life where you just you can go do what you want to do. I don't, right? Sharing versus performing. Okay. Now I try and stay genuine. I try and stick in, and I try and stay in my lane too. Every now and again, I get out of my lane. All right. And I'll hear from one of my friends, hey, Dion, you're out of your lane. We know you don't want that. So get the fuck back in your lane, dude. All right. Because that's where I do my best work, in my lane. Yeah. It's where I help the most people. It's where I get the most done. All right. So real recovery has a warmth and you can feel it. You can. People very much know that I'm spiritual. I don't even need to say much. I'll just walk into a room. Right. I have a lot of courage. God has given me a lot of courage for most things. There are some things where I'm still working on my courage, getting out. So that's kind of hard for me to get out right now because my wife's borrowing my car because she was driving around and something was going on with the wheel and that she stopped. Three of the posts were broken on her front wheel. The posts. Yeah, scary crap, man. All right. So what changes a lot of this? We've talked about a lot of it, but there's one more component. And it's one component that's in everything. Service work. That'll make your eyes shine. Service work. Watch somebody go chair their first meeting and then look at their eyeballs when you're done. They're glowing. They're shining. This is the sunlight of the spirit coming through. They have been lightened. They have been relieved of a burden. Our eyes shine because we're free at last. Because we're finally free. So, service is what changes it. Helping others, gratitude, connection, purpose. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're talking to, whether they're clinical, spiritual, both, or none. It's one thing that we all agree on, that the opposite of addiction is connection. We all agree on that. So let's start there. See, we don't need to be divided. Let's start there. We can agree on that. Okay. Well, let's start there then. Because I bet if we agree on that, I bet we can find a lot of things to agree on. Because we're already good at knowing what we disagree on. So let's go out of our way to see where we agree. That's an understanding. That's just being there. Right? So when we stop living just for ourselves, the light comes back. Cool. Cuckoo, cuckoo, man. I got invited to a wedding this weekend. It's the same place I run the sober living. They're like, oh, we're getting married this weekend. I'm like, well, gee, it's Thursday. It made me feel like I was a second thought, actually. But at least I got invited, which is progress. Usually I don't get invited because of where it's at. But I'm actually gonna do my best to go. Why not? We'll see. Really depends on what's going on. Right? So then comes the confidence of the honesty. You don't have to hide anymore. You're not holding secrets. You're not living a double life. And you're becoming, the more comfortable that you become with yourself and who you are, the more your eyes are going to shine. It's the truth. And when we live in the truth, there's nothing more abundant. Right? So we stop hiding from the world. We start participating in it. So you'd think that shine is happiness. And it can be, but happiness is a byproduct. Now, relief is one of them. But what is it really? Well, it's peace, it's hope, it's connection, it's authenticity, right? And presence. Just not your presence, but the presence of a power greater than yourself. Now, happiness comes with this, okay? But when we talk about peace, hope, those things, those are base emotions. Happiness is a byproduct of a job well done. That is a dividend emotion. Okay? And I'd much rather have peace than happiness anyway, because it comes with both. So the shine isn't perfection, it's freedom. Freedom from what? From the bondage of self. Right? So we go from hiding to being honest, from fear to connection, from isolation to purpose. Right? And of course, no one trudges alone when we go through this. Okay? This will be about the time that you can actually look yourself in the mirror and be like, maybe you're not so bad as I thought you were. You're actually kind of a good person. Good job. Good job. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. It's good to see y'all. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And